Corn podcast.
And we are back with another episode of the Can of Corn podcast. With me down south of the border in beautiful Iowa, Rob Allison. How are you today?
Really good. Coming off of Christmas, so I'm in good spirits.
Yeah, you got high hopes and high spirits heading into the new year?
Absolutely. 2024 is going to be the greatest. Duh.
Speaking of 2024, so we have a 2024 with us right now, our first guest ever on the Can of Corn podcast, Brett White from Solon Springs. Brett, this spring season, you hit 460, 609 on base percentage, slug 778. You scored 61 runs, which was the third highest in the state. See, I did my research before we came on here just to make sure I could hype you up effectively. But welcome to the show.
Yeah, great. Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely.
So
how's the winter been treating you, Brett?
Oh, it's been good. Last year, I really didn't have an off season because I had shoulder surgery, so it's finally good to be able to hit before the season and throw and just do all sorts of things, like the little things, that make a difference in your season. So it's great.
Like pulling down rebounds, right?
Exactly. Yes. Dennis Rodman. That's all I do.
We got you recording post basketball practice. How's that season been treating you?
Oh, it's been good. We're actually ranked 4th. We got like 4 dudes that play really good, and I'm just there for rebounds and defense. So I know my role and I just do my job. So that's all I got.
Every roster needs a great grinder.
Exactly. Yeah. Or Draymond Green. You can call me Draymond Green too, but I don't fight as much as him, I guess.
Well, that's a positive.
Yeah, that's true.
That's positive.
So, Brett, we had you 2 summers ago down in Atlanta for the future game roster. I know it's in the rear view a little bit, but walk us through what your experience was like down there.
Oh, okay. So right when I got down there, I was like kind of starstruck as I walked in because I've never like played in the summer like that, and it was awesome. Like all the coaches just like every time you stepped up to the plate, there'd be like 20, 25 coaches just watching you, and it was really fun for me. I think that was one of like the greatest experiences I've actually ever had playing baseball. Just kind of like it kind of gave me confidence in myself, like where I wasn't nervous to play in front of scouts as much as I like was before. Like I just knew I was just gonna have fun with it, and they were here to watch. So it was really great. I think I pretty much changed my baseball life, honestly. It was a great experience. I saw great pitching. I had a lot of fun, and it kind of just pushed me forward in the trajectory for my future.
Brett, kind of take us through that because obviously you're having a lot of success in Iowa. You went to the future games, and then what kind of all went down post future games?
Okay, so
what's the path from there to like now?
So after future games, I kind of blew up a little bit. I got hit by like 6 pitches, so they thought I was a grinder. So I guess it kind of worked. I got hit up by a lot.
I think you have the all-time record for future games hit by pitches.
It hurt. It hurt. I hadn't been hit by 90 before. It kind of stung a little bit, but after that, I kind of got hit up by a lot of coaches, and it was a really cool experience to talk to all those coaches. And then after that, I played. It was in football. I played football a lot, so I kind of like didn't really have much of a fall. I just like focused a lot on football, and then after football, I kind of like just focused down on 3 teams I was gonna visit, and it was Utah, Iowa, and Baylor. So I visited all 3 of those, and then at the end of the fall, I made my decision to go to Baylor. So yeah, that's kind of what happened.
What about Baylor or the experience or going on campus or the coaching staff? What about it made you decide that that's the place where you want to be?
I would say the coaching staff definitely. I have a really good connection with 3 or 4 of them that are like I know really well. 2 of them from being from Iowa, Coach Dillon from Dowling, and I don't know where Coach Furlong went to high school, but I know he's from Iowa. Has some really good connections, and then especially Coach Thompson's a really great guy. And I just like thought I could see myself playing for them in the future, and I think that was one of the big decisions. Like, I think you can always play somewhere, but I think if you have great connections, I think that's something that can elevate my game and elevate me through my future.
Coach Furlong is either from Iowa City High or Davenport Assumption. I can't remember which one.
Yeah, I don't remember. I just know he's from. I think it's City High because I know he's from here around here. So.
Why? I feel like Rob, you must have coached
City High. You should know, Brett, because You're legitimately live 10 minutes away from there.
Yeah, I know, and I played in that program when I was younger. I should know that. I think it is City I. It's either City or West. I know that for sure. But I don't know. I feel bad I don't know that.
Well, outside of the Iowa connection, what else? What else appealed to you about Baylor?
I would say just like the facility and the campus and just like the experience of all the people. Like all the athletic programs seem like really connected together, and it's really great people down there. And also a little bit of the weather. It's a little warmer down there. I'm not a very big cold weather guy. You know, spring leagues are a little rough for me, but I just thought it'd be the best experience for me to grow and kind of elevate my future where I want to go eventually, which would be like the draft. So I think that was my best springboard.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
What's in front of Brett White starting now? Obviously, you're in the middle of basketball, but kind of what is coming down the tracks through the spring and into the summer and all that good stuff?
So I'm definitely doing the PBR Spring League. I thought like that was a great experience for me, just seeing all those great pictures, and definitely I'm definitely gonna play high school. I'm not definitely gonna stay. In the middle of the season, I have to leave a little bit to go for like a camp for like 2 weeks, but then after the season, I'm gonna play in Clinton for the Lumber Kings. I have some good connections out there, so that's where I'll be in like August, and then I'll go back to Baylor in the summer or in August.
So what do you work?
You're going to stay busy, huh?
Yeah, definitely. But that's good. I mean, I remember last year I played all the way up until like in the summer. I played in the Iowa Valley League. I played all the way up until like August 21st. I like didn't take a weekend off, which was good for me, but it was good to play that baseball. But I like that. I like staying busy.
What sort of things are you working on to develop? I mean, maybe some conversation with Baylor you had where they want you to work on this or that or the other. Is there something that you're kind of focused on this offseason?
Definitely always getting in the weight room and always getting bigger. I mean, I think that's one of the things. Like, if you want to play as a freshman, you got to be bigger. You got to be big enough to compete with those guys that have been there for a while. I'll definitely say my fielding aspect. I've definitely been working on that. Just the little fundamental things every week. I've been doing stuff to just, I'm a little bigger guy. I need to stay more like fluid and be more fundamental. So I think that's what I've been working on. Definitely throwing too. I've been working a lot, but definitely throwing because my throwing just wasn't where I wanted to be last year after the surgery. So I'm definitely doing a lot of plyos. And then hitting, I just ramping up the velo and just keeping up in the zone because I feel like that was a little bit of a weak point for me last year. And I feel like if I can hit line drives in that pitch, I can be great. If you can hit that pitch, you can hit any pitch. I feel like so. That's just what I'm working on.
You had mentioned your surgery. Kind of talk to us a little bit about that. How'd you get hurt? What did you hurt? Kind of what was the processes?
Yeah.
All wrapped around.
So during football, like week 7 of last year, I went to go hit someone. And I dislocated my shoulder. I popped it out the first time. And then in the playoffs, I went to go stiff arm someone, and then I came fully out. So after the second time, it's automatic surgery. But if it was my left arm, I wouldn't have got surgery. But since it was my right, it was a posterior labrum tear. It was like 6 to 12. It was like half. So then I got it at the U of I, and I had a really good surgeon, really good. I had a really good recovery. And then through the spring, it took me a while to get back, and then I finally got back. And my first at bat actually in a game like in spring, I hit a home run, which was cool. But and then I struggled a little bit for the first 2 weeks. I wasn't where I wanted to be. So like my first 2 weeks, I think it was the worst I've ever hit in my life. And then I finally got some confidence back and finished the season strong. So yeah, that was my journey through it. But I know a few guys that like have had rougher ones, like Clayton Bolkema, who's I've seen come from his Achilles. I'm happy to see him finally getting back. That was awesome to see him hitting the home run derby. So yeah, that's one of the guys.
What position are you kind of projecting out at? What position are you going to focus on? Kind of where do they see you at Baylor?
They see him as a third baseman or just corner infield somewhere there. That's where they project me as right now.
Good.
Yeah, good. For sure.
Hey, Rob, I want to put you on the spot here and we talk about this a little bit. But what was going back to Brett's selection in the future games? What stood out? Where did you first get? Where did he get on your radar? What jumped out to you?
Well, actually, as kind of a pity pick, I kind of just felt sorry for him. you know, just watching him flounder around the field and just struggle like crazy, so I figured I'd flip him a bone. No, you know, Brett, Brett's physical. Um, he's always been a stronger guy, standing out amongst his peers. I remember you came to the All State event in March at Sportsplex.
Yep.
What I've always liked about Brett is he plays really hard. He's really competitive. I like guys that kind of have that sense of urgency. Their hair's on fire a little bit. They're ready to run through brick walls. They're action guys. We've talked previously about impacting the game, like guys figuring out ways to impact the game, and that doesn't always have to be 4 for 4 with 3 home runs and like all the fireworks. And I just thought Brett was always a guy who impacted the game really well, regardless of whether it was a good day or a bad day. And I just think he earned it. He's always played at a really high level. He's worked his butt off and been fortunate enough to always kind of play up to put himself in a position to perform and succeed. And he's always kind of just taken care of what he's needed to taken care of. So I think he ultimately checked all the boxes for me. And I actually felt bad for you at the future games because I didn't think you got maybe near the opportunity to show everybody what you can do and what I've seen you do. Because you legitimately did get plucked like 6 times.
Yeah. I only had 4 bats. Like
For
actual bats.
With 6 hit by pitches.
Yeah.
Really high on base percentage.
Yeah, I'll take it. Any way to get on, honestly, especially against that type of pitching.
Yeah, when the final one smoked you in the ankle,
Yeah.
and you went down like you got shot, I figured that was time to pull back the reins a little bit on you,
Yeah.
give you a little bit of a break.
Yeah, it was. I remember like just after like the first day when I get like hit 3 times, I'm like, wow, this is an experience. I didn't think I was gonna hit this many times. I was like, wow.
Were you talking? Were you talking Smith to like some of the pitchers or what? What happened that you became the target?
I don't know. I'm usually a nicer guy to the pitchers. I usually don't talk, so I don't get hit. But I don't know. Maybe I was just a bigger target for them. I don't know.
So after future games, right? Were you having a bunch of conversations with other coaches, other programs, or did you get a bunch of calls? Were you getting blown up?
Well, this is what really happened. The week before, I played in Kansas City, and I played really well. And there was a lot of coaches there too. So like they told me they'd see me at future games, and like a lot of the older coaches really liked me because they thought I was like one of like they have like 5 baseball, and they thought I was a grinder because how many hit by pitches I would take and like kind of the aggressive base stealing. So like that, a lot of the coaches just said like, you haven't I like Rob said I didn't get like the opportunity, but like just seeing me play hard kind of helped me a lot. And I think like what he said, like that's something like I strive for every time I step on the field, like playing hard. Because I feel like if college coaches come and watch you, like they're looking for the little things. Like baseball's a hard game. To be a professional, you're gonna fail 7 out of 10 times. Like you got to show up the little things. Like you're playing hard, hustling, running down the line. I just think that's like something I pride myself in my game. So, and that's what really works for me in my recruiting. That's what all the people said. Like, you're a hard worker, you're a hard player. Like sometimes I'd play bad when coaches came, but they would still call me after and be like, we love your energy, we love the way you play. And I think that's like one of the greatest compliments you can get as a baseball player.
Rob, you agree with that sentiment? Like that's a quality that stands out.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, you can sort and filter an Excel spreadsheet. You can look at all these numbers, like he runs X, he throws Y. I think younger coaches maybe aren't attentive enough. Like, I really think you need to drill down into the player. You need to find out his mentality, kind of how he goes about his business, all those things. I think that becomes the separator. Obviously, if you're the last 1% complete freak of nature athlete, that's going to separate some guys, but I mean, that's 1%. And That's I probably preach from the top of the mountains all the time. Like, guys got to figure out other ways to separate themselves. It's and ultimately the showcase numbers matter, but they don't matter. Um, you could during BP you could sit there and put up 100-mile-an-hour exit velos, but if you can't hit when the game is on, it really doesn't matter. And so I think Brett's done a good job. Like he has really good tools. He has good athleticism. He has good strength. He checks all the boxes on that side because he is right. He's going up to a level that's bigger and faster and stronger, and you kind of have to be built to be able to compete and handle it at that level. But he's also then take away the tools. He's a really, really good player and dominates at some level in high school. And I think, Brett, I think you have a bright future, and I think you're going to do really well at Baylor.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That might be the nicest thing I've ever said to Brett White.
Probably.
Say.
I haven't heard that before. Whoa, that something must happen at Christmas. He's got a little Christmas spirit in him.
I'm usually pretty hard on Brett, so wow.
It's fine. I like it. I like it that way.
I feel a little lightheaded right now.
This is recorded, Brett, so you can keep listening and rewind and re-listen. Yeah, it's going to be great.
I might have to.
Yeah, there's a new tattoo in Brett's future. You're just going to take my quote and spray it across his back.
So going into the future game too, the kids. It's funny. Like, first of all, you have to sit through Rob's speech before every game. So I don't know if that stresses kids out or relaxes you or what, but puts you on edge. But then you go through the showcase day, and again, you're with all these players you don't know, best in the country, coaches all around you. The facilities are good. Was it stressful? Were you nervous? Are you kind of guy that can put all that aside and just perform, or what?
So I actually remember the speech really well. We all do. We all so we play together still. We all talk about it. How he just sat us down in the blazing hot sun in the middle of the day. We were all sitting there for 45 minutes. It was so funny because he was everything he said was right, exactly right though. All the little things, his talk, it was great. But it was just funny. We were all just sitting there, and after wow, we really just did this. But I think what for me, I just like to make connections in that type of scenario, with all the players, and I'm still great friends with all the kids we played with, and I just kind of I treat everything we got to win the game. I don't treat the scouts as something in the stands. That was a little bit, but I was just thinking about what can I do to help our team win, even though it really wasn't a game. That's my best way to cope with the scouts being there. I just got to think about winning the game. It's for my team. If I'm up at bat, I say to myself, all right, I got to get on base for my team here. I don't care who's in the stands, if there's nobody, if there's 25, you still got to have the same mentality. That's what separates everyone else.
Rob, I think maybe you should just make the speech again right now because I think everyone's curious what you said, right? So if you got time, you want to run down your entire.
I never go into anything scripted, and just kind of whatever comes to me at the moment comes spilling out. I suppose it's very similar to Will Ferrell in the movie, what is that, Old School? He jumps on the stage, he starts rambling on, and he's he says, that's how you debate. And he gets all lightheaded and kind of falls off. But it can be challenging, guys coming out of high school, guys coming off of club teams. Each entity probably has different agendas, different points that they try to instill into their players. And it's always important for me just to sit there and talk to the guys and just kind of lay it all out on the table, the reason why they're there, what they're trying to accomplish, what the schools are looking for. To some degree, maybe a little bit of a cheat code or a cheat sheet to try to put them in a better position to succeed. And if it helps drive the point home by me sitting them down on the concrete and making them bake for 45 minutes in the sun, mission accomplished.
It's definitely worked though. Haven't you have like 3 MVPs, and then you've got to have a lot of college guys. Like last year, Danny I know pretty well. I mean, didn't he? He literally went off there. I mean, that probably works for him too. Just like hearing you say that, his mentality. Honestly, I think that was the best thing for us to be our coach at those games because, like, we all know you pretty well, but then like when you see like when you get serious, you know like something's up. Like you got to listen, and especially there, like in front of the coaches, like you put the cheat sheet out for us, and it works.
Yeah, we've been really fortunate, obviously, with MVPs, and we talk about what makes the difference or what's the separator. Like, as I kind of go back through my head, like, I think the difference is the guys that are successful are the guys that are kind of a little bit like alpha males.
Yeah.
They're not timid guys. They have a higher level of confidence, and don't mistake cockiness isn't confidence.
For sure.
But they have a higher level. They're willing to accept challenges. They want to kind of just take it head on. And but yeah, we've been really fortunate. We've had a lot of guys that have performed really well at that event, and you're one of those guys. And so I mean it's all worked out up to this point.
Yep.
I think Danny Wallace did hit that 102-mile-per-hour grand slam because of your speech, though, Rob. I'm going to go.
I agree. I
know.
I have a funny story about Danny. I actually made like a Sports Center top 10 play against him, and that was one of my best moments all fall, making a top 10 against Danny. So that's one of the funny stories.
So you crushed his hopes and dreams.
Yeah, he was pretty upset when he came back to the dugout. So that's all I can say.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good. I mean, clearly there's been a ton of athletes from the Team Midwest. So, I mean, it's a nice chain to have guys like you and then Danny throughout that few games to just show what baseball is like in the area.
For sure. I feel like we're underlooked. Like all the kids like I go talk to like at Baylor or whatever we visit, like, oh, you're from Iowa. Like, oh, you guys are probably not very good at baseball and everything. But then we got some dudes. So even like Brody Brick, like he's like, or Joey too. Like those guys, going out, like showing all these people like what I was made of. It's awesome to see that. I get really happy, like especially seeing Joey for Team USA. I was super pumped for him, and that was awesome to see him do that.
Yeah, a lot of good players, and it's just a matter of putting yourself in a position to people to see what you can do and give yourself some options and opportunities.
For sure.
Brett, we've got definitely some time before the high school season kicks off, but tell us a little bit about how the Spartans are going to look for this year. What are you thinking about it?
I think we should be a little better than last year. We got a lot of guys returning. We're only missing like one senior that just played for us. I think we're going to be a lot better with all of us like kind of just getting back and getting another year. We were really young last year. I still think we're going to be a little young this year, but I think we'll have a little better pitching. We got a really good pitching coach and Coach Shalista, who coached at the college level. So I think he's really the reason we're going to be great this year with our pitching. So I think we're going to make a big jump forward this year and hopefully have a really great season. And
then you're going to end up with the Lumber Kings at some point in the summer. Is that correct?
Yep. Yes, sir. Coach Dom, playing for the Dom Academy. But I have really good connections with Coach Dom, and I really like playing in those type of leagues, playing against like those college pitchers because it just prepares you for college, and it's really fun to play against them.
Yeah, it'll be. You had mentioned that you played in the Iowa Valley League. Was it last summer?
Yep.
I played in that league. A bunch of old timers who don't want to give up baseball and don't want to play slow pitch softball.
No, I was actually the first one that ever gave a high school MVP, and they didn't want to give it to me, even though I had 2 home runs in the championship game. But they gave up at the end and just gave it to me. They're like, whatever, you hit 2 home runs, we're gonna give it to you.
Yeah, that's being able to compete against those older guys. That's a big thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they're not out there for just to have fun. When you're 35 years old and the body doesn't work quite as well anymore, and you're going to put in the time and effort, you're going out there to win.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm sure those guys had pretty high expectations of you, and it sounds like you fulfilled those pretty well.
Yeah, I hear more chirping there than anywhere else, and it's just like, and it's pretty good too. Like you get mentally, and they get in your head. Like I remember this one guy for the Williamsburg team, he got in my head every single time, and I could not get a hit off him ever. He just like they know how to get in your brain. It's rough going against those older guys.
Right, right. School
All right.
going well for you? You ready to be done with your senior year?
Yeah, I'm ready. The first semester was a long semester, but it'll be good. I'm excited. I'm excited. We have something to look forward to. We have baseball at the end of the year. That's what I like about it in the summer. I got something to look forward to.
Absolutely.
Brett, highly personal question, but if you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Pizza. You know what? And so for every day of lunch, I eat like like the Jack pizzas.
The frozen pizzas?
Yeah,
Jack?
frozen pizza.
Yeah.
Okay, I eat one of those for lunch every day, and I put barbecue sauce all around it, and that's what I'd eat every single day. Every day, I eat it every day. It's so good, perfect. You need to try it, Rob. Barbecue sauce on it. It's insane.
Barbecue sauce.
I love barbecue sauce. I put it on everything.
Good thing you're going to Texas, I guess, right?
Exactly.
Rob puts ranch on all his pizza, I'm guessing. That's what the way it, yeah.
Yeah. I
Well,
like ranch too.
the crust maybe.
Dip the crust in
I'll
ranch.
dip my crust in.
I'm telling you, Rob. Hey, when we play in the spring league, I'm gonna bring you Jack's pizza with barbecue sauce on it. I want you to try it. Okay?
Oh man,
We try it.
I'm so gonna look forward to that.
It's amazing. It's a new experience. It's great. I get like sick of it, but then when the barbecue sauce just cheers me up, that's the only thing that makes me happy about my pizza.
Yeah.
Well,
Is it,
we know, Brett. We know Parker's from Minnesota because
Yeah.
he eats wings with blue cheese dressing.
What?
is it not a thing in the state of Iowa? You guys don't do that?
I mean,
No.
it's like an option. They go, you want ranch or blue cheese, and no one ever says blue cheese, like ranch.
How do you know someone's from Minnesota without asking them if they're from Minnesota?
Blue cheese.
You let them order wings, and
That's
then when they want blue cheese on the side, then yeah,
That
Minnesota.
when we cross the border at 35 and you got to get that, that's a test right away. They ask what do you want with your wings, and they tell you to get out if you add the blue cheese.
Yeah,
Turn around.
Well, once you pass Mason City, I think then you head into blue cheese country. Disgusting. Disgusting.
All right. But Brett, the pizza. I mean, at some point, Baylor's nutritionists are going to say, "Hey, we got to start, with the broccoli steak or whatever, right?" So
yeah, yeah. They have pretty good food down there. We have a pretty good setup there, so I'm excited. They gain a lot of weight there. They said like their average is 10 pounds, like just by like in the first like month because of all the food you'll be eating. So I can't gain weight. Like I stay at like 205, 210. That's like I can't get up to over like 215. So that'll be a goal. Get over 220. 220. That's the goal. I think that's what they're saying. So
maybe I start having two pizzas at lunch, right?
yeah, maybe. Maybe wings with blue cheese.
That's how we add the lbs. I know that.
Awful.
All right, Rob. Same question to you. What's the one food you'd eat for the rest of your life?
One food, the only food that I could eat the rest of my life.
Yeah. This is a real Sophie's choice for you here. You really.
Okay, one, I don't even know what Sophie's choice is.
Right.
But two,
Google that.
I honestly, I would have to say, I would say wings. Like they're easy, it's really hard to get like a bad wing. Like I do think there's levels of like good, better, best, but it's hard to get a bad wing. So you have a little consistency there. And I like ranch dressing. And I like buffalo.
An Iowa classic. That's an Iowa classic.
Yeah, I like buffalo sauce. I like garlic parmesan. Like those are the things for me.
What's your order at Buffalo Wild Wings? What's your wing type?
One B-dubs is pretty trash in my mind.
Oh, whoa.
We just lost a sponsor there, I think.
Yeah, well,
Wow.
was B-dubs on the table? Crap. No. Big Grove has really good wings, Brett.
Big Grove. Oh, shout out to Solon. Yeah, they do actually. They have really good food.
Yeah, they have really good wings. Just keep it simple. Mild or medium buffalo sauce, little ranch on the side.
Yeah.
Mouth down. Take it to the house.
Speaking of Big Grove, you need to try tater tot casserole. That's your next thing. Tater tot casserole. You need to try that. That's really good.
They make that at Big Grove?
That's the best thing there.
Parker, educate Brett. What is tater tot casserole called in Minnesota?
We call them hot dishes. So you don't do casserole, you do a hot dish.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Duck, gray duck, hot dish, Minnesota stuff.
Yes.
Is it
someone
duck,
from Minnesota? I was going to go eat with a coach in Minnesota, and he said, "Hey, I'm probably just going to go home. My wife made some food," and I'm like, "Oh, what did she make?" "Oh, I'm really looking forward to it. She made hot dish," and I awkwardly stared at him for like 30 seconds, and finally, I think I said like, "What the f is hot dish?" And so then I got educated. Which we all know is tater tot casserole.
Yeah, I agree. That's the Iowa.
It takes so long to say casserole, though. If you just go hot dish, right? Save yourself seconds in your life.
Well, you don't pull it out like a 6-shooter. It's not like hot dish. No, it's tater tot casserole. Like communicate. Holy cow.
Do you guys have Scotch? What do you guys call Scotcheroos in Minnesota? I feel like do you guys?
I've never even heard of what you're saying there. Scotch.
What?
You're gonna have to elaborate on that one for me.
All right, it's one of my favorite things in Iowa. So it's like chocolate on top, and it's like Rice Krispie and peanut butter. It's so good. At any case, it's like I don't know. Do you know what they call it, Rob? There, I bet they have them.
I think they might call them Scotcheroos.
Oh,
it's a Rice Krispie treat, Parker, and then they put this peanut butter like kind of spread on it, and then cover it in chocolate.
I mean, all those elements sound amazing together. I just don't know if I've ever labeled it as something. I think we just called them Rice Krispie bars.
Yeah, but a Rice Krispie bar wouldn't include the peanut butter and the chocolate.
It's a very Rice Krispie bar. Scotcheroo. I'll have to add that to the.
Yeah, they sell them at Casey's.
Yeah.
Go down and ask my wife if she can make some Scotcheroos.
They're so good.
Whip up a batch.
They're top 5 Iowa dish. That's a top 5 Iowa dish.
Yeah. Hey, honey, whip up a batch of Scotcheroos, and while you're at it, throw some hot dish in the oven.
I have a hot dish and Scotcheroos tonight. Yeah, that's it's a good plan. It's a good plan. Since we're culturally trying to figure out between Iowa and Minnesota, are you on the duck goose side of things, or is it duck gray duck?
Duck goose.
Okay, it's just up here. I think that's the only. Yeah, duck gray duck. Sorry.
Brett and I could spend hours chopping up the land of 10,000 ponds. But, we're not trying to start a border war right now.
Like, hey, I actually like Minnesota. Every time I go to Minnesota, I like it. I like it. It's a great place.
Yeah. Come on up. The water's tepid, I guess. It's not up to Rob's liking, but in the summer it gets warmish.
Yeah. I usually go fish. I go fishing at Lake of the Woods, or like.
Oh, you're way up there. You're Canada. That's great.
I'm 50% Canadian. My mom's Canadian. I'm half Canadian, so I got a little of that blood in me.
Do you ever go back?
Yeah, I go back a lot. She's from Vancouver, but I've been to like way up north. I go to Lake of the Woods all the time, and I go to Vancouver a lot too.
So next time, stop by with some Scotcheroos while you're driving up. I'll be on the freeway, and I'll hand you some blue cheese so you can, That on your
I don't know about the blue cheese, but I'll give you the Scotch Roos.
All right. Well, hey, we've had a half hour of talk here. I think we've educated everybody from the Minnesota and Iowa side on all the names that we could. I mean, really appreciate your time, and